Ontario Premier Doug Ford, who ran on a platform of For the People, has now officially rolled back labor reforms that benefited the vast majority of people living in Ontario. So he has frozen the minimum wage at $14 an hour. It was supposed to go up to $15 an hour next year on January 1st. And he also took away 2 paid sick days that we all already had. Who are these for? This is not for the people. So Doug Ford will tell you, oh, raising the minimum wage to $14 an hour, that hurt businesses. Oh, they stopped hiring. Except when you look at the facts, 6 months after the minimum wage was raised to $14 an hour, there was record unemployment in Ontario. We added jobs, more jobs than usual. But no, according to Doug Ford, it destroyed us. It destroyed Ontario, and we have to get the jobs back. Even if that was true, to get the jobs back for people making wages that can't already afford to live. So what the hell exactly are you doing? Now, I'm going off here when I didn't mean to, because I'm so annoyed that anybody could possibly think this moron is for anybody but himself. Himself and his close friends. All he cares about are wealthy developers and millionaires like him. He was born into wealth. He inherited his business from his dad. His dad was an MPP. Doug Ford has had every connection, every advantage, all the money he will ever need. He has no interest in helping the average person. He doesn't even know what life is like for the average person. How could he possibly help them? He has shown us he doesn't give a shit about anybody. Now, let me get to some reaction from some people about this, reversing these labor reforms. Quote, "We just saw workers' rights be torn out from under them. We just saw the lowest income workers lose $2,000 in increased pay because of the decisions that the government made today in passing legislation," NDP leader Andrea Horwath said. So what Andrea Horwath said there is completely correct. People, if you were making $14 an hour this year and you were raised to $15 an hour next year, you'd have come away with $2,000 more a year, approximately $2,000 more a year. Now, Doug Ford will say, "Oh, but we cut taxes if you work full time, if you work a full-time minimum wage job, we cut your taxes." Yeah, but that still only saves them $850 a year. You would have made more money if Doug Ford kept you where your taxes were at and let the increase go to $15 an hour. You would have come away with $2,000 more compared to $850. Again, I ask you, who is this for? Now, more reaction here. Labor and advocacy groups have raised the alarm at the short time frame allotted for consultation on the Tory legislation, with many saying they were denied the chance to weigh in. Fight for 15 and Fairness, a group advocating for the minimum wage increase to be reinstated, said the 5-hour limit placed on public input was in stark contrast with the 14 days of province-wide hearings the Liberals held on their labor changes. Quote, "Let's be clear. Rich corporations are the only ones who stand to benefit from Bill 47, while the lowest wage earners will be forced back into poverty," spokeswoman Pam Fraiche said of the law that passed Wednesday. So I ask you again, who were these labor reforms for? Well, the answer was right there. Rich corporations. That's who they were for. This benefits nobody on the ground. And limiting the consultation process, I mean, that is about public input. The whole point of that is for the people, to hear what the people have to say about your shitty legislation. Yet you limited that to a tiny amount, a 5-hour limit. A 5-hour limit compared to 14 days that we had under the Liberal Party. Now look, I've had many complaints about the Ontario Liberals, But, I mean, 5 hours compared to 14 days. $14 an hour compared to $15 an hour. 2 paid sick days compared to 0 paid sick days. Tell me which party actually gave a little bit of a shit about people and which didn't. Doug Ford and this entire party are all about the rich and about themselves. Everything they have done has shown us that. The only piece of legislation I slightly kind of sort of agree with is them privatizing the sale of cannabis. So I do agree that there should be private sales of cannabis. I also think that there should have been private stores. They talk about competition. Why are they so afraid of competing? Why are they so afraid of having public sales, public stores selling cannabis and private sales? Because they're completely full of shit. They don't really care. So, there are no principles here. There is no principles. Everything they do is about the rich. So, the only reason they privatize cannabis sales, I would like to say it's because, because freedom, because there are some small business people out there who want to open their own business. No, it's because massive corporations want to sell cannabis. That's all it's about. So, again, I ask you, who is this Ford government for? Your answer is in this shitty labor legislation that takes away your pay, that takes away your paid sick days, that makes your life worse. That's who they are for. The rich, not for you.